Well, hello, my soul friends. I'm late to my little party here. I have this quirky thing with time, so I wanted to start at 5:55, but I couldn't log in for some reason. I had a little glitch, but I'm here now. Anybody having glitches today? It's been a day, a good day, but definitely, gosh, are you just feeling met every moment by a, I don't want to say challenge, but definitely a little test, a little obstacle, a little, you know, I- how bad do you want this? Do you want to keep going? Do you want to push through or do you need to pause? I feel like that happens more and more these days. Anyway, welcome to the Soul Nurture channel. This is Victoria, and I made a commitment to go live once a week, and then it turned out it became Tuesdays, and I'm all about transformation. I'm all about soul nurturing and soul potential and reclaiming your potential. And hello, Jamie, welcome. Um, and so it just sort of fell into Tuesdays, and I went, wait a minute, I've been teaching transformational tools and soul work for so many years 20. I don't even count anymore because it's been so long professionally, and then of course on my own journey before that. So I started this little YouTube channel called The Soul Nurturer to support others out there who are on a journey of a soul having a human experience. Anyone? I think all of us. But the distinction is some of us are aware and we're working with the soul potential and we're recognizing the human experience as an opportunity to cultivate that soul potential and to also sort of the other way around to let our soul illuminate where we are off track, where we are. Kind of my topic tonight is playing small, holding back. And so that's what we're doing on Tuesdays, transformational time together. And I'm open to any questions. People can email them, or some people can join me on chat and or watch the replay and ask your questions there. I do love interaction from my viewers. The more you comment, the more you like, and the more subscriptions I get, the more you support me in supporting others out there in the world. And that is my greatest joy. So, okay, this is what happens when I go live. The lights on, everything around me heats up. I've got my candles going on, and then I'm having an online, a live hot flash. It's just the change in the temperature. I almost have to open the door. I'm so hot right now. Anyway, welcome. And I notice, so help me here. Actually, I owe this person an email. I've been talking to a marketing person, and I owe her an email. And I don't know if you're watching, but if you do, because I do want to kind of help my what I'm doing here or on my Instagram, which I just put it on pause. Instagram. I don't know. I just didn't have the motivation to get up every day like I was for many years and posting and following up on that. I'm really in a slower pace of witnessing myself, sitting with what's coming next, gestating a few projects, pacing with grace is what I call it. But this YouTube channel, I go back and forth with let's improve it, let's make it better, or stop. And this sets me up for the conversation today. This either or, this either I have to be a certain way, do it a certain way, these expectations we put on ourselves, and these unconscious conditioned programmings that are operating in us that hold us back. So I'll ask, I've got one person with me live, but maybe when you're watching, others are watching this, and I hope you do. Um, what holds us back? What holds you back? What, and I know you can feel this. I know everybody, not everyone, I can't say everyone, but I work with so many people. Um, Thanks, Jamie. I do plan on continuing to do lives because the reason why is a good practice. I used to do live lectures often and workshops, and I don't do them as much. So it's another edge to practice with being live. But what the holding ourselves back, and one of the things about going live is a good practice because I get to watch the chat. It's like having somebody raise their hand and then staying on track. But the holding ourselves back, the conditioning, the playing small, and I've identified a number of things, and I wonder what you think it might be. And I am speaking mostly to women. Why? Because I am one. I work mostly with women, and through my training and many modalities of transformation and soul work, um, I've just recognized the women I work with in all my years of this work. I have 25 years plus of supporting others. And I just noticed this, like, we can connect to our soul, our potential, our visions, our possibilities, and then we just take it on down. And it happens. I see it before my eyes all the time. I see it in me all the time. And I was talking about this channel that, it took me, I was talking about doing a YouTube channel for years, and I wouldn't do it. Why do you think I wouldn't do it? And I want us to think about, why do we hold back? And I'll tell you about some of the things I've observed in myself, my lived experience that I have a well of wisdom to teach from, and the women I support. I notice this. So why do we hold ourselves back? What is that about? Like this like desire to do what you're called to do. And also I think there's a desire to be your authentic self. And that distinction I make is the you, the beautiful, bright and shiny soul that came into the world before you were conditioned, before you recognized there was a negotiation process going on between how you get your needs met and how you have to hold back something or play small or oh, okay. You know what? That works for me. I did choose that tonight, Jamie, because I was curious about it, and it actually. Thank you. She's telling me, and I don't know. Sometimes the chat comes over when the live video is posted. She's saying that the slow mode is on, so I can only send one message each minute. I didn't realize that it was a minute that you have to wait. I don't know if I can turn it off right now, but let's just work with it, because when I get too many chats, I can't read them all, and then I miss people. So I didn't realize it was going to be that long. It just said delay the chat, and I did. So get ready to write in your responses. Maybe let's see. Oh, I can't have an edit right here. Let's see if I can do this. Why not? Okay. While I'm doing this, what I'm talking about is, oh, I think I'm in here. Okay. Reclaiming potential. Allow. Nope. Okay, I don't see comment. No, I don't see it now. Sorry, Jamie. Next time I won't do that. I thought it would help me see all of the comments because last time they were coming so quick, I was missing them. I'll give it one more little scroll down. Nope. Recording. Oh, okay. Comment. Nope. It's comment moderation. Nope. I don't see it. Sorry. So just, you're just going to, just when you, yeah, I guess you're just going to have to wait for that minute. So sorry about that. Okay. Slow mode is on. I see it here and it won't let me change it. Okay. Oh, well, see what I'm demonstrating to a lot of you out there. And I know a lot of people email me and say, I want to do what you're doing. Awesome. Great. I'm not perfect at what I'm doing. Um, I am willing to practice doing what I'm doing. That was how I got myself to say yes to having a YouTube channel and to pretty much everything I say, yeah, I'll give that a go. I have to just say, I recognize I'm not going to be perfect because whenever we're practicing something new, well, it can be messy. It could be, we're perfectly imperfect. And there is an illusion that I think we have, and especially as women, this illusion of perfectionism, or that will be we have to be a certain way, perfect to get there. We view others of having it together, and then we discount ourselves. So comparison is definitely one of those areas that gets us stuck, holding ourselves back more, because we're comparing your soul potential and all of your conditioning and all of your limited beliefs and all of your life experience and all of the messages the inner critic has and all that stuff compared to somebody's external presentation. We always come up short when we do that. Okay. So, one of my commitments, and if I was going to have a YouTube channel, I wanted to be authentic as I could. And in fact, I used to teach a workshop, it was 21 years ago. Create an authentic, create a soul mission for your authentic expression. Is that what it was? Something like that. It was all about connecting to your soul so you could express more authentically. It's what I do on my one-on-one sessions. It's what I do in my groups. And now more than ever, this year in particular, this is our collective call. Where are you hiding? Where are you playing small? Where are you holding yourself back? What old story are you stuck in? Where does fear have a grip on you? Where are you doubting yourself? Where are you comparing yourself and coming up short? Where do you feel you're not ready? On and on and on, right? This year, especially with the North Node in Aries that we have until January 2025, and now Pluto in Aquarius, all about finding that authentic expression individually and collectively. It's like a big push towards getting out of the box of conditioning. So this year, we're really supported there with North Node and Aries wants you to be your authentic, awesome self and wants to give you that push of motivation. It's like go time, okay? And yes, Jamie, lack of I think it says there's something blocking it. Let's see if I can get it. I think you were lack of believing in yourself holds you back. Very common, again, for women. And where does that come from? Where does the lack of believing in ourselves come from? It starts early. Mostly, we have a lot of now I feel it even more for the younger women with social media and these false expectations and these, filters and all that editing and everything where people aren't even being themselves. I have this well, she's not a friend of mine. I'd love her to be a friend of mine, but she's a hysterical comedian. So funny. I always think she puts her finger on the pulse of our collective psyche. And I found her on Instagram. Her name is Dana Moon. Dana, if you're watching, comment. And I always say she's like the Carol Burnett of her time. She is, a young woman who is hysterical. She does all of these Instagram posts. And how I found her was she does when there's a dating shows on, like what was the show? The one with the pods. I was, my husband's like, why are you watching these shows? It's research. What is it called? It's a dating show where they're in pods and something blind. I can't think of it. Love is Blind. Anyway, she does like remarkable impressions of the cast members. So it's gonna, and I still may, and maybe she'll watch this, maybe she'll do it. I was like, Dana, you need to do a video of somebody getting ready to do their video post and the camera's still on and they don't realize it's on. And then we get to see the real them in real time in their real life. Like that's real. And so I do try to be as real as I can when I come on here. Of course, I'm still trying to be semi-professional. This is my work, but I mean, I try not to be too edited. And why? And it's not for me. It's for like, let's stop playing that game of what we're supposed to be like, what we're supposed to be, how it's supposed to look. Let's just play the show up and be yourself game. How about that? And take away the limitations of how we show up, right? I do want to look at my notes real quick. Are you noticing my camera? I don't know why. If it's the lighting, it goes in and out. Again, perfectly imperfect, but anyway, it's one of the reasons I can continue to show up, because I've taken away that false expectation of I have to have it look a certain way. Or like when I met with this marketing person, her name was gosh, I'm blinking, Alexandria, Alex. Said pretty much my goal is to just polish up a little bit, but not make it inauthentic. I don't want it too. I just don't want that. So we're going to work together on probably starting with Instagram and then maybe here, because I have been doing this for 4 years and I want to take it to the next step. So there's this place of, if you're holding yourself back, just start. And then if you've been doing something for a while and you know you can do better, then do better. That's a message I'm getting this year in particular. If you can do better, do better, but don't, if you're stuck in a place of fear or doubt or limitations, that is your work. That's what, your inner work to help clear the way of what's in the way for you. So I'm going to look at my notes. I'll be back in a minute. Jamie, if you want to ask any questions, and I'm sorry to have limited you with your comments. So sorry. All right. Notes. Okay. So, I have a couple quotes here that I love, and truly, I love Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Her work is all about reconnecting at that authentic nature, soul self, right? Our soul nature, our wild, unconditioned selves. So I have a couple of quotes from her I will share in just a moment, but let's see what I wrote first. So, where, and the holding ourselves back. I mean, this could be like being in a meeting and not speaking up, or having an idea and not sharing it, or wanting to have a conversation with someone and not having it, and doing it because, all these limitations of, like say with dating, and I work with a lot of young women with dating. Well, I don't want to do that. He has to do this, and then I have to do that. Like when you're in that conditioning, it looks like this, looks like that. You're stuck. You're in your limitation. You're not in your authentic self. Be yourself is really where we're at right now. Question why you limit yourself. Question what beliefs are keeping you in fear. Question those false evidence appearing real, the fear, and those limiting lie of a belief, right? Okay. So as women, we're deeply conditioned to be, the caretakers. We get into the people pleasing. We learn to hide our gifts in order to fit in order, like, again, remember I said the negotiating, like, oh, I notice if I bring all of who I am, then I'm not as loved, or I'm not as valued, or I feel maybe I'm even being shunned. So we will push those aside, or push them into the shadow in order to feel the false connection, like, oh, at least feels like my needs are being met, but not authentically. And this is what we want and what we desire, and what I hope that you go for in relationship. You're not sacrificing you in order to get needs met. You're not sacrificing any part of you in order to have your needs met. Okay. And I'll tell you, it took me years to repattern my relationship file. I grew up without a father. I grew up without any healthy relationship models. So whenever, that's how we learn, by our role models and what we witness as kids. And so I had to recreate the whole thing, and it's taken me a long time. I can tell you now, in my relationship that I've been in for, we've been together 21 years. We had 2 breaks, and I am, he probably is like, wow, more than he needs, but I am more myself than ever. What I mean, I don't hold anything back. I speak my truth. My anger, if I'm angry, I share it. If I inappropriately express my anger, I clean that up and apologize, because it's not about him. It's about me no longer holding back. So I am never been more myself than anybody in my whole life except for my husband. To me, that is my greatest success. I wish that for all of you. Really, I do. Okay, so let's see. So, again, as women, we are conditioned. And if this didn't happen in your family of origin, I mean, it's ancestral too. We're just handed down these ways of being and patterns that are really hard to shift unless you bring the unconscious to consciousness, to quote Jung, to be conscious of those patterns, conscious of the choices, and then question them. Why do I do this? Remember the video I did about the roast beef, cutting the edges off the meat to put it in the pan? Why do you do what you do, and why do you hold yourself back, and how can you break free? What do you need to believe about yourself? What could you do instead? So here are some of the things I identified of what, how we're conditioned. um, and again, that putting others first, but also we're praised for behaviors that aren't authentically you, like, oh, you're such a giving person, you're so kind, you're so selfless. I'm on a personal mission to demystify the word selfish and elevate it to self care. So, here are some of the things: fear, why we hold ourselves back. Fear is a big category, which I'll open up a little bit more. Doubting ourselves, that comes from our beliefs, and our experiences, perhaps. Fear of being criticized from others. I'll tell you what, I think I noticed this a lot more. I mean, I grew up, if you grow up with criticism, that becomes your inner critic. You have an inner critic that is critical of you if you grow up with criticism. It's just the way it happens. People who criticize you are wounded people, but it doesn't help you. Like, it's like, you don't, when you're a kid, you can't say, oh, this person's wounded, I feel sorry for them, I'm not taking that in. We absorb everything, and then it becomes our inner work of cleaning up our inner house, our thought process. We are the only ones that have access to our minds to kind of edit and update that computer programming, right? But that fear of criticism from others, I think it was pretty loud in me, but I didn't notice it as much with as with the pressure of Facebook and Instagram, with everybody posting and like, what do I think about that? What do I want to say about that? And I felt this pressure, and especially as things got, politically divided, and I have this desire to hold space for healing and transformation. I got kind of lost in all that because I was like, I don't even know what to say anymore, and I felt helpless to make a difference. So I'm saying that just in case anybody else has had that experience. Like, I'm all about wanting to make a difference and to contribute something that's helpful, that can move us all towards transformation. But I noticed myself, like, I don't even know what to say to this person. And it was a different kind of holding back. It was, but I think there was some fear there, fear of the pushback, or fear of the trolls. I mean, I'm not even on Facebook anymore. I noticed that I got hacked a couple times. I'm like, I don't even know who's watching my stuff. I don't want that kind of energy. So, um, but I think it's heightened for more people right now. And when it's heightened, when the heat's turned up with critical energy and even bullying, we will tend to go smaller because why? Number one need, what? Being safe. Okay, notice there are two people here with me, and Jamie is one of them. If you're the other guest, and I invite you to not hold back, just let me know you're here by just putting your name in the chat or where you're viewing from. Okay, so this is a way that I'm inviting you to show up and speak up. But I'm identifying, I want to identify some of the things that hold us back. So how many of you have that fear of what people are going to say about you if you make a post, or if you want to do something like me, you want to do videos, you're concerned about how people will view you? Here's the thing, I'll tell you the truth. I mean, yeah, I get some comments, but I love remembering this quote, and I don't know who said it, but we don't um, it doesn't matter what other people think about us. It's what we think about us that matters. Okay? So if you're triggered by what somebody is saying about you, or what you're afraid they're going to say about you, that's you. That's a part of you that's judging you. And that is where you're disempowered. Okay? So you want to seek out all of those, like follow the cord, follow the line of thinking to that core, that root belief, and then you have the power of changing it, right? And nobody can do that but you. Okay, so that intense inner critic. Anybody else have an intense inner critic? Here's the thing, and I do parts work with clients sometimes, and parts work is identifying these different parts of us that developed over parts of our lives, and they help us cope, and they help us meet certain needs. So believe it or not, even the inner critic is meeting a vital need. And what do you think that is? What would the inner critic be providing for us? Taking a sip of my my root beer kombucha, and I just realized I poured it because it sounded so good. But being honest and authentic, sometimes root beer kombucha makes me burp, and I hope it doesn't happen on live, but it may. Anyway, so yes, even an inner critic has a purpose, but we don't want it to override us or hold us back. So inner critics develop as a way, again, they think they're keeping us safe, like pointing out all the reasons why we shouldn't do something. And the inner critic that's intense is when it's pointing out bad things about you. And that's where you get to go, wait a minute, I'm not believing that anymore. That's a lie. Remember the word in the middle of believe? It's a lie. I'm not believing that. I already mentioned comparing ourselves to others, not measuring up. And that's connected to false evidence appearing real. Like they seem like they have it all together. I'm telling you, I do a lot of work with a lot of amazing people, and nobody has it all together that I've come across so far. I mean, even Oprah, I think, would admit to her days, right? Her challenges. So we need to give ourselves some grace and stop with the um, other people are doing it better and I'll never become who I want to become, and just be who we are right now. So that comparing ourselves to others and not measuring up is connected to a lower self esteem, not having the confidence, and looking through our wounds rather than our strengths, is what I'd say about that. I'm going to just check and see if, right, Jamie, protection. Yes, 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 yes. Protection. Our all needs, the way that our unconscious mind is navigating our life, is ultimately from protection, trying to keep us safe. And this is why we're stuck in a comfort zone, which is an oxymoron, because we're in a comfort zone with things that are not comfortable and things that we don't even want, but it's familiar. And whatever is familiar and practice in the subconscious mind, our subconscious mind thinks it's keeping us safe. Okay. All right. Let me go back to my notes. And while I'm doing that, if you're watching, and Jamie, you can share this. I really love to know how people are doing whenever I do these lives. What's the emotional climate out there? I know what it's like for me, and I know what it's like for my clients, but in general, I love to know how people are doing and what are you navigating and what are you noticing. Astrologically, this is a pretty mild week. We're building up to some stuff next week, but it's sort of yeah, we're catching our breath to do another big push coming up in February for sure. Okay. Um, let's see, but feel free, whether you're watching live or when you come back and watch the video, and comment under the video. And remember, your comments help generate, not from chat, but underneath each video, the comments I get generate more push into the algorithm or something. I don't know how it works. I do notice the videos that get more comments, I get more views, and then more people will tell me, I saw that video, whether they commented or not. It gets out there better. Okay, let's see. So now I talked about the illusion of perfection. I had this quote about this a while ago. Let's see if I can get it. It came to me in a workshop I did, and the illusion of perfection prevents us from achieving our possibilities, right? So, so how, oh, and here's another one I did touch on too. If we didn't have direct encouragement to be our authentic selves, and I'll tell you, even the most conscious parents don't realize they're conditioning their children. It just happens because even before a child is born, and I see younger women are changing this. Thank God, I've been talking about this forever. The first way we condition a child is naming them before they're even here. You don't even know them, you haven't met them, and they're going to be this. You've decided for them. And so they've already have a conditioned box around them. You're going to be this. And so conditioning starts with the greatest of intentions, right? But then we don't know if when that conditioning is like putting a box around potential. And I always think of this image that when we put too tight a box around potential, it prevents the possibilities from growing. This is how, do you know this is how bonsai trees are curated, I guess. Do you know how bonsai trees stay small in a little tiny box? They tie up the roots so that tree, that plant can't grow bigger than the box. So where are we tied up? In beliefs and conditioning, limited, playing small to be safe. Okay. So if we weren't encouraged or we were criticized for trying to be who we are, you're too this, you're too that, you're not enough this, you're not, all those blaming and shaming creates shadow. Shadows where we push our potential away. And then we disconnect from our possibilities. Okay. The other thing is if we didn't have good role models that are demonstrating what it's like to be authentic, to be true to their soul nature. So, how do we shift this? What do we do? What do you think? What do we do? Well, I'll tell you a very simple tool I teach my clients. Whatever you're doing that's not working, do the opposite. determine what you could do that could help you by determining what you're doing that isn't helping you, right? So let's see, Jamie, you have another little message. Think you're okay with me sharing this live? I'm gonna assume because you typed it, you are. You helped me so much in session today. I've been going through my notes since, and it makes me feel so good. You were so spot on with my astro chart. Oh, you gave me strength. Oh, Jamie, yay, yay. And remember, I gave you strength. I reflected your strength. My role as a soul guide is to help you engage with your soul wisdom, to help you engage with your soul potential and all that you have within you that'll help you um, bring that to fruition, right? So I reflected your possibility of the strength you need to do what you need to do. Okay, awesome. I'm so happy. Yay. Okay, let me look at my notes. Oh, I never did the quotes. I have some good quotes for you all. So I'll come back to that. How do we shift this? Okay, but let me read a few of the quotes and I'll come back to how do we shift this? And Jamie, if I forget, remind me to come back. I do have a tendency sometimes, especially the last thing of the day before I clock out, to wander off. Okay, so where are my quotes? Huh. Okay, here we go. Ooh, I thought I deleted them. No, they're further down. Okay, so this one is just like, oh my goodness, you're going to just like shudder with the resonance of, oh my goodness, do I do that? And probably you do. If you're a woman. I don't know this author, but Sherry Argov. Women are conditioned to give themselves away. That's the negotiating thing I was talking about. Well, I notice if I do this and I'll get that, and so we contrive, we limit, or we give ourselves away. And this is what soul loss is. We give our soul away in order to be loved or seen or whatever. And we need all of us to be all of us. Okay. So this conditioning, again, to break conditioning, was that choice an empowered choice, or did I do that choice from a disempowered way of being in order to try to feel powerful? And that's authentic power rather than that's false power. Giving contriving to get your needs met from a wound is disempowering. Authentic power is being your authentic self, speaking your truth, speaking up for your needs, saying, no, I'm not going to do that. That's not who I am. This is important, especially with people who have known you a while and you're breaking out of your limitations and you're emerging your soul potential. And you'll get pushback because people will say, this is not who you are. Yes, it is. Who you've known me to be for 20 years wasn't who I was, but I was hiding my authentic self in order to feel safe. This is who I am now. So now you get to say, that doesn't work for me anymore. This is what would work for me better. Maybe I was that way in the past, but this is who I am now. I call this getting current with people, telling them who you are. Even if they can't acknowledge it, you acknowledge it. Okay. Oh, I love this one from Audra Lord. Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. Mm-hmm. That is a good one. I've been trying to practice that more, and it is hard. I've had a couple of challenging conversations with friends that are points of like they've gone this other direction, and I don't understand, and they probably don't understand me either. And I'm just like, but I have to say something instead of holding back. I love this one from Ann Patchett. It makes you wonder all the brilliant things we might have done with our lives if only we suspected we knew how. I love that. I would, if I may, Anne, beautiful, but I want to just, for me, it makes you wonder all the brilliant things we might have done with our lives if only we were connected to our authentic selves and we empowered our choice and we empowered who we are and what we're here to do and we believed in ourselves, right? So, but I love that quote. So all this, I really want, whenever I share quotes, I invite you to go look for your own, like whatever I've touched on, whatever opens up in you. Yeah, I'm feeling limited. Go look for empowered quotes on breaking free. If you're needing to believe in yourself, go look for quotes on believing in yourself. Put them up on your mirror. Put them up around you. Write them in your journal. This is how you get to absorb it. Take it in. Okay. So I'm going to end with something from Clarissa, but I'll just check one more time if anybody else is here. And yes, hello, Amanda. Welcome. Yay. The father figure usually gives us away when getting married, identity wrapped up in going from one masculine figure to another. Oh my goodness. Yes. And this stuff is deep. That is so deep. And all of the unconscious stuff that goes with it. I think I shared in a previous video, I still catch myself like I just broke out of a habit that I've been doing for years with my husband, getting up, getting my tea, and making our breakfast while he's doing his meditation. He's doing what he needs. I'm like, what? Why am I in the kitchen? I have potential too, So I said to him, I'm not doing that anymore. I want to get up and do what I would do if I were living alone. Make my tea and I'd journal. And then I would go for a bike ride and meditate. And then maybe I'd think about breakfast. And he's like, I never asked you to do that. And I'm like, you know what? You didn't. But my unconscious mind said, clock in, woman. That's what you do. That's what women do. So we have to really bring consciousness to every moment, every choice. Am I doing this because I saw my mom do this? Am I doing this because society tells me I should? Or am I doing this because my soul shines and feels empowered when I make this choice? And it's tricky. I'll tell you what, I also was, I would do breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a while. And now here's the thing. For me, for a while, it was very, very healing. I grew up in a very dysfunctional family. I grew up without any structure. I grew up with a single mom who was always gone or not available because she was, in her addiction. And so I grew up without a lot of structure. And what am I going to eat? I don't know. Well, just go get a top ramen and eat that, or a good old bowl of Fruit Loops, And um, so for a while, when my husband and I got together and we first started living together, making dinner every night was healing for me because I never had that. So it was for us. It was for my little girl, my inner child, and that structure created such safety and security of the things I didn't have: consistency, predictability. So it's another place to look. If the point is bring consciousness to it. This thing you're doing automatically, am I doing it for me or am I doing it from a wound? Am I doing it to heal or am I stuck in an old place? And then make your choice. So I told him the other day, I think I've healed that consistency thing. I don't need to make dinner every night anymore, you know. And I don't mind you making making dinner. And even if what you make for dinner is a reservation, I'm okay with that. So I spoke my truth, and this is what I wish for all of you out there. You feel so connected to yourself, to your soul, with valuing, reclaiming your worth, and that it's safe for you to get your needs met and you're worthy of getting your needs met, that you're willing to take the risk to have that conversation, to have those uncomfortable conversations, to make that request, to speak your truth. Because anything short of that, you're not being your authentic self. And no one's going to pull that out of you. People are comfortable with you being not yourself because it serves them more than it serves you. Ooh, mic drop. What did I say? That, wow. Did anybody catch that? Because that felt really important. Let's see. People are more, what did I say? Did anyone catch that? People really don't want you to change, especially the ones you grew up with. And I'm finding this in myself right now. I'm going through a big transformation, and it's a shedding. It's a shedding of people who I didn't feel like myself with. I couldn't be myself. I didn't feel like I was welcome to be myself. And there was pushback or judgment or criticism, like, I don't want that anymore. Jamie says, you told me something very good today. You said to set your home environment up so that it supports you also. Yay. I love those takeaways. Yes, that is so true. Everything we do should support us. We are the main character in our story. We deserve the star treatment. Okay, so anyway, I'll have to rewind and listen to what I said, but it is about showing up for yourself and your authenticity. Even if people can't meet you there, you must meet yourself there. Okay, and as you keep consistently meeting yourself where you want to be met, guess what? People will show up and meet you there. Sometimes it's a little lonely while you're making that transition, when you're no longer doing the old song and dance that used to work for you, artificially having people like you because you served them more than you served you. Sometimes that transition is a lonely one. I'm kind of in that right now, like not doing that thing I used to do anymore, jumping over myself to go help others, people pleasing. I'm not doing that anymore. And so my group is getting a little smaller. But the people who want to do an authenticity dance with me, they're the ones that are staying and seeing me and celebrating me. And I celebrate them. So, okay. Any questions before I wrap up? I'm just going to go read you a couple of the Clarissa Pancole Estes quotes. And I hope, if you haven't, you have read Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa. Have any of you read that? Are you familiar with her work? She's a Jungian therapist who is profound. Her writings are profound. Google her, YouTube her, watch some of her lectures. Amazing. And she has certainly impacted a lot of women in reclaiming their personal power. Okay, so let me just look at some of her quotes here, and then we're going to wrap it up. Thank you, ladies, for being with me tonight. I appreciate it. Okay. This didn't make sense to me when I first read it, so I'm see if it makes sense to you. But it's the way she writes. She writes so poetically. Okay. When a woman speaks her truth, fires up her intention and feeling, stays tight with instinctive nature, she is singing. She is living in the wild breath stream of the soul. Hmm. How about that? That's a good place we could look. Every day, ask yourself, am I living in the wild breath stream of my soul? No? Well, where do I need to speak my truth? Where do I need to fire up my intention? Where do I need to be connected to my instinctive soul nature? Okay. And then start again. And it does take practice, practice, practice over and over again. That's how we learn. Okay, here's a few others from her. To be ourselves causes us to be exiled by many others, and yet to comply with what others want causes us to be exiled from ourselves. Ooh, full chills. I'm going to read that one again. Anybody relate to this? To be ourselves causes us to be exiled by many others, and yet to comply with what others want causes us to be exiled from ourselves. Whew, that one. I often say to people, especially if you have history, like whatever, how do I say it? How you were treated as a child is how you tend to treat yourself. So for me, I have to watch when I'm neglecting myself or abandoning myself. And you know what? Honestly, not going to lie, that shows up quite a bit because it's so deeply rooted in me and I have to constantly make a different choice. I'm going to stay connected to myself. I'm going to take action. I'm going to nurture myself. This is why I call myself the soul nurturer. You see, this is my soul medicine I give to you, but mostly I need it for myself. And this is what happens. Okay, let's see if I have one more and then I'll check for questions and then we'll wrap it up. I love that one. It's just, oh, go read her work. Okay, I'll just leave with this one because I love this. One of the most calming and powerful actions you can do to intervene in a stormy world is to stand up and show your soul. Struggling souls catch light from other souls who are fully lit and willing to show it. I love that so much. So, are you willing to light up and show your soul? Trying to get to back to you guys. Are you willing to light up your soul and show up? I mean, this is what it is. This is what authenticity is. And it's a daily practice, it's a daily choice, and it's a daily sloughing off and shedding and calling ourselves out. Wow, I really went small there. I can do better. And if you don't know what the you could do better is, you have to connect to another possibility. Ask yourself, find role models. This is how we learn. Who do you admire who is fully on fire in their soul potential, who is authentic in the way you desire to be? Use them as role models. What do you notice? Let them be a research project. What qualities are they practicing? What muscles, spiritual muscles, are they flexing? What you see in them is your potential, and say, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to practice that. And then you just take one step in that direction of your authenticity. And here's another thing before I leave you, and then I'll check one more thing. Oh, I'll see. Oh, thanks, Jamie. Thank you for being here. She says she loves the lives. Yay. And Amanda said, oh, people are comfortable with you not being yourself because it serves them more than it serves you. Thank you, Gold Star. Thank you. I like that. I'm going to have to remember that. Okay. Uh, so, yeah, find yourself some role models. And I like to say, find people that you admire and practice reclaiming that potential you see in them until you become the you that you most admire. Okay. All right, that makes me tear up every time I see that. I'm rooting for you. I truly am. I'm rooting for all of us. We can do better, and we are worthy of experiencing a better life and being all of who we are. Even if some people can acknowledge and see that, as long as we see it, that's what matters. Okay, take good care, and sending you all so much love. And remember, once this video goes underneath. You might get a notification that I have a video up. Go back to the video and comment under that video. Even though you've chatted, chatting doesn't count towards the algorithm. So if you would please go to this video when you can and comment underneath it. Sending you so much love. Last comment. Yes, I'm willing to light up, show my soul, and stand in my truth. I'm going to practice meeting my needs. Awesome. Beautiful. All right. Sending you guys love, and I'll see you in a couple of days for another video. All right. Take good care until then. Bye.